Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333 and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order Last Days of Europe, as Spears Germany. Last video, we went to war with Caucasia, because, you know, they're doing weird shit, like, well, they haven't claimed, he hasn't claimed himself as a king, because I don't think the content is in at this point to do it, but we're gonna pretend that he declared himself a fucking king. And we're reconquering all that. And we're also dealing with the former lands of Reich Moscovian. And just trying to figure it out. Speaking of which, we have this event, which I don't think I read. And if I did, I apologize. You can just skip forward a little bit. Luckily, the Moscovian government had been more than cooperative with Viktorov's work over the past few days, and has granted him convoy protection and given him absolute clarity and comfort regarding their business in the capital and preparations for negotiation. Viktorov knew that as the days went on, the time before he'd ventured forward to meet the officials of the Russian nation grew shorter and shorter. He had decided his excitement for the eventual departure and work. Everything left him confounded in the reason behind the excitement. Excuse me, Dr. Viktorov, but the convoy has prepared for transportation, a young secretary said as he missed her knocks on the door. Oh, it's a girl. Excuse me, Dr. Viktorov, but the convoy... There we go. Good enough. My apologies, Miss Birchow. Right away, the diplomat said as he grabbed his suitcase and followed her out. Everything around him had showcased what he enjoyed, the order, the structure of it all, and how was finally his time to make a difference. Time to make a difference that his predecessors of the past did not, he continued. Thinking of the pictures of his family he kept so neatly tucked away back home in Germania. The carvings on the beautiful box delighted Viktorov, in contrast with contents, as he saw the capturings of times of a Russian family working its hardest to get through the wall set up by Russian forces. How great the suffering his grandparents had faced as they crossed over into the new land of Germany. The dreaded persecutions that the Viktorovs faced being foreign immigrants in a hostile land. But no more crushed dreams nor broken souls from either side, as each and every hard-working German and Russian around Moscovian had earned their right to support from the fatherland, and earned an end to the troubles which plagued them. Viktorov continued his thoughts as he finally made it outside the capital, alongside his fellow statesmen and the Waffen regiment, accompanying them deep into Russian lands. The frost encapsulating the trucks reminded Viktorov of his grandfather and grandmother as the convoy began to move away from the Moscovian territory. What an exciting trip. So I'm trying to, what do we do? We gotta wait until this is done, so we can get working on... We only need to do one of this. So let's bring them back to the pact for now, I think. Yeah. We must celebrate the results of our efforts for the fatherland. Our settlers remain loyal to the Reich, and as they remain loyal, we improved their economy and made things made better their lives out in the east. In time, perhaps they would enjoy the same blessings we in the fatherland have. For now, however, it was time to invite them back into the pact. We have already dealt with the rest, and through such support did not come free. I can't. It's almost midnight, and I have to wake up in about 8 hours, so I probably even shouldn't be recording right now, but I figured I'd get at least one part in. Shit, where was I? Those such support did not come free. All they would have to do is obey some of our requests, and so long as they went along with them, they would be free to do any other thing that was permissible. We have chosen Alexis von Rona, together with Otto Remmer, to go to the settlers, and there they would manage the new government. Things were becoming much better. For now. So we'll go ahead and start that. And get moving on. Here. Okay, I did not see that coming. Sverdlovsk seems to be more or less victorious, which is interesting. So there you go, back to the pact. Oh, what can we do? Let me recalculate okay. So, what do we want to do here? We'll go ahead and contact some sympathetic officers. This is done. I'm sure it'll disappear eventually. We got some pretty solid stability, actually. I'm proud of that. Our outlook is slowly progressing, so we'll get there eventually. Actually, we'll be able to charge more reactionaries with treason, so we'll get even more stability. Which will be very, very nice, I gotta say. And then we're almost done with this little bit of research. I'll grab a few more political enemies. And it looks like, yeah, Samara has more or less unified Western Russia. We'll see what they do with Onega. Seems that Chita it's going to be between Chita and Siberia, it seems, for the victorious. But anyway, we have the Volga in our faction, as well as the Militar Berezitsk Ruslan, whatever that means. Now let's work on placating those damn natives. Yeah. We can eventually do all that, but we'll worry about that later. The idea of supporting the natives with an injection of cash, along with some material assistance, is interesting to us. Unfortunately for us, it is the only meaningful way to change the balance of powers in these of states, which replaced our former Reich Commissariat. After all, we can't do much against the natives, so why not help them instead? Let us hope that this will be our first step to solving the dilemma of our settlers and those Slavic dogs. If they could swallow the bait, then our fatherland could lure them back under our influence. That works for me. We can't really do... Try to decrease U.S. influence. But we're going to have to wait a bit. England might just be a lost cause. I haven't been working on it too much. They're doing the U.S. is doing a lot to help them. Oh. He cracked his glove knuckles with a grunt, glaring out over the snowy plains as the setting sun burned the sky with its orange hue. War was coming. He could sense it. Those Slavic scum across the border of the Militar Bezirk Ruslan were unified, preparing themselves for an invasion of Germany and the destruction of the Aryan race. Until that time came, the Field Marshal would have to contend with grimy Russian partisans in the cities and the wilderness. That was why he was there, after all. Field Marshal Ferdinand Schorner and his brave allies were conveniently carted off to the snowy shithole by the blessing of a magnanimous Führer, where they would serve the Reich by protecting the Eastern Front from whatever insane faction managed to unite Russia. Schorner plucked a cigarette out of his mouth and spat onto the snow. He didn't know whether to be furious or flattered at being granted such an exile. The nest of vipers that was Germania could never have prepared him for the disgusting Militar Bezirk, where the German and Slav practically skipped through Muscovian hand in hand. What was the point in hunting down terrorists, training troops, and securing the eastern border if such degeneracy was allowed in the cities? The Field Marshal shook his head and took another puff. It was only a matter of time before miscegenation was legalized in this area. Is that... I have a feeling that's mixing of races. Let me look that up. Mike Parsons apparently the governor of Missouri. I did not know that. There we go. The breeding of people considered to be of two different races. Yep, okay, it's some racist.
Miscegenation.
Miscegenation, that's how you say it. Well, we all learned something new today. Miscegenation was legalized in this territory. The Militar Bezirk Ruslan deserved new leadership, someone with the strength and courage of Schorner, with the loyalty and obedience of Remmer, and with the determination displayed by the militarist cliques. As for the leadership of the Reich, Schorner smiled bitterly to himself and threw his cigarette into the snow where it hissed back at him. He stomped on it with his jackboot and set off towards the men. Great things come to those who wait. You might have a point there. Let's see what's happening in the... Yeah, Free Indonesia is going to lose. Ooh, more events. Ooh. Faded picture, interesting. The soft rumbling of treading through dirt and snow tore apart into harsh rocking and bucking by the envoy's truck as it met hard gravel amidst that sounded like it would tear off the tires at any minute. As the entourage continued onwards with silence slowly transformed from an excited admiration of the Russian land to a dreaded silence, with each rotation of the tires bringing another wave of confusing tensions, as the Vathan guards present in Viktorov's truck prepped themselves. It was confusing to Viktorov, to say the least, until the trucks finally passed through the iron gates of the city. There, peering through the window of a heavily armored truck, Viktorov, for the first time in his life, received a glimpse as to what his grandmother and grandfather escaped all those years ago. The glimpses of children roaming the streets without parents in sight, in rags, fighting over a piece of bread which had been stained by the mud of the ground. Across the street, Viktorov caught glimpses of 3 men beating another fellow Russian on the ground, pummeling him with bats, punches, and kicks as they strip him of his bag and coat and duck off into the alleyway, passing a duo of nurses carrying a body covered with a tarp out of a health center. The homeless had grown in number as he saw groups of young men harassing a young woman coming out of her home, seemingly asking for overdue money owed to them, and Viktorov could only pray for her safety as the convoy moved on. Viktorov continued to think and debate with himself as to what had become the fate of the Russian people. What could have done this? Were the politicians in charge of a state that greedy? Or was there some sort of crisis causing all of this? Viktorov continued to pray for the hope that things had not been completely this way for his ancestors. As the motorcade came to a halt outside the Capitol building, Viktorov continued to dust himself off and grab his briefcase as his eyes locked onto a peculiar sight. A little girl, no older than 7, grabbed at the chain-link fence as she continued to stare at the Germans inside. She looked thinly and had only dirty rags on, and her brown eyes glimmered in the snow, reminding Viktorov of the daughter he always wanted. That was, until a little boy began to chase her for the bread in her hands. I hope we can help these people too. So... Oh, okay, they're going to war. That usually doesn't happen. Is Lysenko? Yeah, Lysenko's still in. Interesting move by Derlevanger. We'll see what ends up happening there. Let's get some better infantry equipment going. And this war is... We're pretty much winning, aren't we? Those frame drops. God damn. Let's take Nutshik. Placating the natives. To each according to their blood. I guess we're just starting it, okay. We'll just have to pretend that that was some really cool, insightful focus. Can we just tank rush to, Baku? I don't even know if we'll need to, honestly, but we'll do it anyway. Honestly, we don't even need to rush to Baku, honestly. Wait, do we? Yeah, we do. Okay. Then to Baku. Taking vacation in Azerbaijan, boys. Okay, we'll try to decrease the U.S. influence a little bit. And there goes Caucasian. Teach according to their blood. Wipe away the debt. Oh dear, it appears the natives have racked up quite a debt to the Reich. Sadly, we aren't in the mood to give them slack. They can wipe away their debt with Brocketstadt and some new leadership to boot. The Slavs are taking the bait, eagerly pulling themselves towards it. The more they received aid from our great fatherland, the more they depended on it, and the more they owed us for it. Now they have reached their breaking point. They will soon come to us to negotiations. We must seize this chance to exploit it. When the representatives come to the table to meet us, we must make an offer they cannot help but accept. For us to wipe away the debt they have, they must grant us Brauchenstadt, St. Petersburg. They would have to think about it, as all men do when presented with offers, and like all men, they will have to enjoy what we give to them in exchange for what they have to give up. Now that works for me. I don't know if that works for you guys. Okay, so what do we have? They are setting up unbiased military courts. We will have to cross our fingers. Actually, we might have to smuggle in some fake passports for our friends. So we'll have to cross our fingers and hope this doesn't put us over. Yeah, there goes Jailer Wenger. And we got martial arts training for our boys, which is very nice. That'll help our success rate even more. So we have a lot of expertise, which I'm very happy about. So I want to get our chances up to 100%, or as high as we can before we do anything. Okay, so 60 million US dollars, but another 10% mission success, that's pretty good. As to do the UF2 421 personal radios, it's a body-wearable covert transceiver for concealed use. Hidden under the agent's clothes, the device can be operated with a remote control unit. A simplex radio with 4 channels, it is poised to be an indispensable tool for undercover agents, both in and outside of Germany. There we go. Honestly, I like the mechanics of this spy work more than I do the fucking normal espionage features. But here we go. The Moscow Autonomy. As the grandfather clock in the corner of the room continued to tick, the weight upon Walter Viktorov's shoulders seemingly doubled. He stared out into seeming nothingness, as the world upon the transcripts laid out in front of him blurred. All the man could see was images of his days within the surrounding area. Desperateness and near predatory nature of some of the groups that had formed outside the Muscovian territory. How could a self-governed area fall apart so quickly, yet the room he sits in remains so lavish? Suddenly the wrinkled face of the anti-Soviet himself, Bronislav Kaminsky, entered the room, offering a nod and handshake to diplomat. Brigade Führer Kaminsky, it is an honor to meet you. My name is Dr. Walter Viktorov. Viktorov started before being cut off by Kaminsky. The diplomats... I still need to do a Russian accent. The diplomats sent by Speer, huh? We've been waiting for your arrival. What's the terms? That's a shittier German accent than I already do. My German accent's already pretty shitty, let's be real. Viktorov hadn't pictured such exhaustion from Kaminsky, but then again, all of the area had been a surprise, hasn't it? Viktorov took out the first report in a file and began discussing the Führer's desires out of Kaminsky to pay for the incredible amount of support issued of Naivstedt via the ceding of Brandenstadt and swearing of loyalty to the Unity Pact. Viktorov's seemingly hopeful words brought him to look up, only to meet the image of Kaminsky hunched over the desk, both hands clasping his face. They'll march in and hang me. Joining the Unity Pact the natives they've given. And finally, as if a sledgehammer broke through a castle made of sand, everything came together for Viktorov. The terms, the ceding of territory, the government lavishness, yet the hopelessness and the butchers remaining outside. This wasn't Kaminsky's misdoings. They've been paying everything towards the Reich. They couldn't stand on their own. They need help. And now, it's only dawned on him. Operation Great White. Viktorov wasn't serving as a negotiator here. He was a predator. A loan shark. In the end, Kaminsky, with eyes that seemingly had the life sucked out of him, shook to the agreement of losing Brandenstadt and joining the pact. With every step, from leaving the Capitol building to walking to the trucks to staring out the windows as they rumbled out, Walter Viktorov felt one thing: the eyes of starving, broken Russians. God help us. But we'll wipe away the debt. How's our economy looking? Are we still making money? We are. We're making some money. I'll try to pay off a bit of debt. And hope that helps us. So we are wiping away the debt. We'll wait a little bit until we can get actual regime stability. The actual legit regime stability, I should say. Or until we can't do anything else, really. What do we want to do? Let's show that things are as they should be. Everything is in order now. The state of our settlers is secure. Their economy stands firm. Their loyalty to our fatherland is assured. They return to the protective embrace of our pact. And within our grasp is Frankenstadt. With it, the city's advantages, along with its importance to the settlers and to us, shall keep us on the higher ground, just above the Slavs to the east. We will have little to worry about for now, but we shall make sure that our blessings shall last. And to keep it that way, we will do our best, and with our minds set on the future. Indeed. And so we'll go ahead back up here. Let's hope we don't shoot our shot here. Come on, big money. Big money, Salvia. Oh, baby! That was hot. And we have St. Petersburg. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it because I know I'm gonna butcher it somehow. We can do another reformist campaign, but honestly, I think we're doing okay right now, as it is. So I say we just keep working on all the investments, get our societal developments up and going. We're doing okay, actually, all things considered. I'm working on getting on the poverty rate hole. We have a long way to go for our industrial expertise, but it's helping. We're getting there. Yeah, we have to wait a little longer for all this, but you know, we'll work on increasing our influence a bit more. We'll get some more PP in a few days. There we go. We're getting some big fucking PP. At the beginning of a great civil war that ripped the Reich apart, many of the Reich in the east broke free from Germania, due either to internal revolt or to the fact that the Reich was loyal to one of the defeated opponents to the new Führer. After the Bürgerkrieg ended, the weakened German nation was too devastated to even consider foreign expansion. For a time it seemed that the swastika would never return to the bloody fields of Eastern Europe. Today, however, marks a new beginning for the Reich. After a series of both military campaigns and diplomatic efforts, most of the former Reich have returned to the fold of the reborn Reich. As the world looks in both awe and worry, one thing is certain: German hegemony has returned. Lebensraum is ours once again. Let's go. Okay, so we got things as we should be. We cannot decrease influence, but we can purge some dirty fucking reactionaries. So, let's do that. Our stab will drop a little bit, but we'll do some token promises to help get that back up. We have a fair bit of PP. Pacific War is kind of over already, so I'll let that be. Following perspective, bony. Regime leaning tick. Social outlook. WikiLeaks ability is always good, actually. A reformist focus campaign. We'll do 80 political power. And we'll go ahead and launch it. And we still have a fair little collection of the rest. So, let's protect the oil. The war to overthrow a king who should not be a king has come to an end, and for good. It's time for us to secure our interests. Caucasia is teeming with oil, and oil is the vehicle of life for our fatherland. It's important for us to keep it safe from the restless natives and so on, despite the costs. We will station brave men to oversee the security of our workers who are eager to keep the fatherland alive through the oil which flow through the pipelines, no matter how much. We can invest a little bit more, actually, into our budget, which I think we will do. We could start a couple of these. Like I said, I want to get more development before we do that, but I mean, that'll come eventually. Right now, it's going pretty well, if I do say so myself. And, get dunked on. Italia. We're protecting the oil. The war in the south event is still up, but we'll worry about that. We must bring an end to the chaos of Caucasia. At our own expense, it is vital to secure the land with the help of a new government under Friedrich Clausing. With him in charge of the land, we will surely see repayment for our expenses. Thinking fucking up, am I right? Oh yeah, we're getting a nice increase. Oh, fuck! From the clutches of defeat, Sukarno snatched victory and prevailed over a free Indonesia state led by Mohammed Hatta. Unfortunately, that means the aid we have sent has been wasted, as Sukarno, as far as we can tell, has no intentions of breaking free from the Austerity sphere. Fuck! Ah, all that pee-pee. Gone. Motherfucker. Damn it, Wallace! Why didn't you do more? I should say Bennett. I gotta distinguish between this Wallace and President George Wallace. But, you know. Well, this tree looks kind of interesting. He's not, he doesn't have a big, sexy call to him like, RFK or LBJ do. Or Glenn. The most base president that never was. Or who shall be. Well, never will be in this game, but we'll get to that eventually. But anyway, but seems like a solid enough path. Anyway, the city of Grozny has been a treasured center of the native population in Caucasia. It is important for us too. Therefore, it is our duty to rebuild it. The natives will surely be grateful, but we too will be grateful to see it rebuilt for the sake of the prosperity of the Reich. Will be a great deal of expense, but resurrecting the city should pay for it. Should. Okay, so Italy already has a pretty big lead over us here. We can't rally the Reich because we don't have any political power. Fuck. Let's get rid of some guns. We don't need that many guns. I'll boost us up from anywhere from 2 to 4 points. So let's do that. We're going to strongly reform us. We're getting some more stab, which is always nice. Connecting our lands. Right, I fucked up with the no checks, and now that happened. So we'll see how long we'll see what nonsense happens with the rest of that. Anyway. We cannot leave this land alone to reorganize and reform itself. Alone it would wither like a flower in the desert. Let us make sure that our fatherland gives the support it needs to get back on its feet. Though this shall bring a great load upon the shoulders of our economy, it would be worth it as the region holds great promise for the future of the Reich. So let's do that. Nova Polska is pushing through. Strange times in a strange land indeed. Suharto as Kudum. My experience, that means no co-prosperity spear. I might be mistaken. I don't know. I don't work here. I haven't played Indonesia. Who has? I'm sure there's probably someone who's played Indonesia. After so much expense and after so much time, Caucasia is coming alive again, although this has been close to the hearts of those who have done their duty to the fatherland. It is time for us to start letting go. Therefore, a committee of men shall be established to take the reins from us. In time, with our trust placed in their arms, there would be prosperity to enjoy in the future for the Reich and for Caucasia. That works for me. I don't know about you guys, but that works for me. It's hard to make out at first as the screen cleared up, but within the monochrome kitchen was a traditional German woman. I need to prepare food for the family, she exclaimed. I must prepare the tools first, however. First things first. She began reaching in for a knife. After doing so, the camera panned to showcase some fruit. I need to cut the fruit, she muttered, after setting the knife down and beginning to dig into the food. After a few seconds, she let out an annoyed sigh and pulled the knife out, showing barely in progress. Darn it, well, I have to check on the plates and see if they're clean. Reaching down, she grabbed 2 plates in both hands and turned around to show them to the camera. Surprise and disgust mixed in her face as she looked at them. Cracks! She said, groaning as she stared at the damaged plates. And these were perfectly fine just yesterday. What sounded like a door opening was heard from the other side, and a deeper male voice interjecting, Honey! He happily exclaimed, and she jolted a little, setting the plates down and walking over as the camera panned to her husband, who was carrying a large box. I noticed the quality of our silverware and decided to take a look into the nearby store to see what they were selling, and oh, you cannot believe it. Can I? The wife asked. My German voice is going into the non-German speaking. Damn it. Monitoring the box to be settled down on the kitchen desk. What makes this one stand out so much? The husband chuckled and pointed towards a small label on the back. The camera zoomed in. It said, Made with all German hands. She raised her eyebrow. Wow! You mean to tell me that this is all made by German workers? He nodded. In a German factory? He nodded again. Paid a fair living wage by German employers? One last time, he nodded, and she smiled, turning towards the camera and crossing her arms. That's it then. I'm not ever buying goods made by forced hands again. Only free and happy ones. Oh, you gotta love subtle political propaganda. Yeah, I think with that, we flat out lost England. Yeah, you know. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. With Margaret Thatcher, we no longer get the effects from austerity. And so we still have a big fucking debt. We don't even need to keep military spending cut, but we'll keep it cut anyway. We have a nice big GDP growth. We'll go ahead and invest all that into our GDP this time. The Reconstruction Committee. So we've got that figured out. No exceptions. We can finally do this. Let's go. Actually, let me check real quick the how close are we to going to the next? We're kind of close actually, so I want to hold off just a little bit so we get a bit less of a stab hit. Let's show our commitment, I guess. The economy of our people living in the East is not strong enough to stand by itself. Therefore, to make sure that our people can live more easily in the future, we must provide not only the materials and the tools they need to rebuild their world, but the money they need to buy the things they need and want. To stimulate their economy by letting the cash flow. It should do some good at least. If it doesn't show results immediately, we must hope that it would in the future. But to make it that kind of goal, cash would have to be injected into East regularly, until such time that they would no longer need more of it. Easy enough. That way, it would be sustainable as it's made its influence on the economy more significant. By doing this, it would have to show that we remain committed to their future. And in return for that, they better show some gratitude in some way. Greedy fucks. There goes. Okay, the Urals versus the rest. Do some token political promises, but we don't need those. Same with vast political promises. We don't really need those either. But, oh, that 75 stability. That's making me wet, I'm not gonna lie. Decrease US influence. Although, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they are doing pretty damn good. The Americans are kicking our ass right now. I don't know why. It's like they're acting like we brutally invaded them, kidnapped their Jews, and humiliated them massively. I mean, I don't know why they'd think I don't know why they're treating us like this, but, you know. Showing our commitment. Honestly, we might as well just finish up with no exceptions. We'll lose a bit of stability anyway, but what are you gonna do? Erhard is right. We will not save the German economy through half-hearted measures and caution. Decisive action taken without heed for the bleeding of feeble-minded conservatives is the true National Socialist way. The Führer has given Erhard a commission to solve Germany's economic woes and make us a true global powerhouse again. He must be permitted to carry out this task unimpeded. Germany has been through worse than some upset bourgeois and a rattled economy. The people will thank us, but in a few short months. The more populist wing of the Nazi Party claims that actions such as this carried out by those in power without any popular demand disgrace National Socialism by ignoring the source of its mandate. Strictly speaking, this is true, but the people simply don't know what's good for them. Only by defying National Socialism can we save it. I'm wondering if this is ever going to go. Up, and there goes... Sverdlovsk unifies Central Siberia, West Siberia. Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that fucking Central that the giant vor state of Hutig would not have lasted. I could have fucking told you that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we didn't bother with the African War, because that shit would have happened anyway. Okay, our social outlook is reformist, which is wunderbar. My God. While we're here, let's work on the new Reichsmark. Not even a year ago, saving Germany's economy was thought impossible by international observers. They cited our dependence on forced labor and an excess of war plunder and the uncontrolled inflation caused by Hitler's policies. They thought our hopes for prosperity doomed. They were wrong. Ludwig Erhard, financial wizard extraordinaire, has already proven himself the most valuable member of Speer's cabinet. His reforms seem so common sense, yet the staunch conservatism of the Nazi Party prevented them from entering political discourse until Speer took power. There are only a few more changes to be imposed, rules to break and old wisdoms to be discarded. And then the economy will truly be on the road to recovery. Let this lesson be learned. The Führer is beyond reproach. His absolute rule will lead the Reich to freedom and prosperity. So our GDP will increase and our stability will be boosted. And we're really getting places. And I don't want to stop now. But I know if I don't stop recording sessions now, I'm going to be fucking miserable in the morning. More so than I usually am when I have to wake up at 8 o'clock. All right, now I'm looking at 7.5 hours of sleep if I actually go to sleep. So realistically, I'm going to get about 5.5, 6 hours, if that. But I'll just take a look real quick at what we can do. Oh. We're so close, yet so far. Damn it breaks my heart. I guess we'll do that. Worst case scenario, we'll tie. I'll keep going just a little bit. Did they tie with us last round? What happened? Okay, worst case scenario, we'll just tie again, I guess. Which actually, that would be really bad if that happened. Shit. Okay, the new Reich mark. Because that means we have to win all 3 coming up. Or the next 2. I'll just wait and see how this goes. Okay, we're clutching in a victory last second. That is pretty PogChamp. I don't know what that means either. I haven't streamed... Well, I've streamed a little bit, just not. Okay, there we go. I mean, already... we're in a good position there. So I think it's time to cut it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of his content feature, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more uploads every weekday, as well as every Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, concerns, anything of sort, leave in the comment section below. How am I doing here? God, it's getting really good, and I don't want to cut. Oh my God, the U.S. is fucking us right now. Oh my God. Yeah, we can't we actually can't force them to join us, so we're kind of buggered. But you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, like so you really like it, not feel free to dislike and want to see more of his content feature. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more uploads every weekday, as well as every Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, concerns, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get and appreciate any and all feedback you kind of folks might have for me. If you want to send a few bucks my way, I have a Patreon. You can check that out. Down link below. If you want to chat, play games, do anything sort, I have a Discord. Down link below. You can check out as well. And if you just want to go ahead and have a grand old time with me, just watch me do the stuff live, joke around, meme around, have fun in general, I have a Discord down link below. You can check that out. Well, not Discord, that too, but Twitch down link below. So yeah, that's about it for now, folks. My name has been DB333. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.